How well do you remember your childhood? Rejected by your parents, then by the system, but then something incredible happened.
Say my name.
Billy, I spent millennia searching for a worthy champion.
Give us the powers, child.
Go fight for the world.
Hey, Khaleesi!
Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Rated PG-13.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. There's a brand new Shazam! Fury of the Gods trailer. There's a bunch of Easter eggs, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. I know there's lots of questions about how all these characters figure into the big DC Studios reboot in DC Phase 1, or DC Chapter 1, as James Gunn is calling it. He's calling them chapters instead of phases, but it's the same basic concept.
So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. Next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
Zachary Levi seems very confident that he's going to come back. James Gunn did say that the Flash movie would reboot most of the previous DCEU, but not completely reboot everything. According to him, it is possible that Gal Gadot comes back as Wonder Woman. It is possible that the Shazam characters come back, but we know that The Rock is not coming back as Black Adam, so not every single Shazam associated character is coming back. But they're still releasing all the previous DCEU connected movies this year, and some of them they're just saying, oh, this could be part of our new DCU. They're just calling it the DCU instead of the DCEU. The Blue Beetle movie is a good example of that. Like they said, when the Blue Beetle movie comes out later this year, that could be part of their new DCU, as if it was going to be part of it. Just because of the way they made the movie to be relatively self-contained and without too many overt connections to the DCEU. Like, not every single Justice League member, like Henry Cavill's Superman, shows up and helps him out through the entire movie. So from a practical perspective, it's just easier for them to say, oh, you know what, this is connected because we say it's connected. And it seems like that's the tactic they're taking with some of the movies this year, and that's why they're removing some of the cameo scenes from DCEU actors like Henry Cavill's Superman from the Flash movie, and some of them they're keeping in, and some of the post-credit scenes are changing. Like, can we make a couple edits to this particular movie so that it feels like it's less connected to the DCEU and more connected to our DCU after the big reboot? But it is helpful to know that they are planning on doing what we all kind of assumed that they were going to do and use the big Flashpoint twist in the Flash movie to soft reboot everything. During the new Shazam! Fury of the Gods trailer, it seems like it's mostly about Billy believing in himself, which gets into the origin of their powers, like the acronym that makes up all the different names in their powers. Shazam is an acronym. It stands for the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. Black Adam has the same thing for his name. It's meant to be another acronym of Shazam, but it represents the Egyptian gods in Black Adam's case, and in this case, it's the Greek gods. There are a couple names in there, though, that weren't traditionally Greek gods, though, so I think that they're treating them like legendary figures, because if you look at this page in the Book of Magic that's based on their powers, like this is the one with the lightning on it that symbolizes their powers, it just seems like Mary Marvel finds this Book of Magic in the Rock of Eternity that was written by the wizard Shazam about the origin of their powers and how he created them in the first place. That's the whole thing with Helen Mirren's character and the 3 sisters that are trying to take the powers back of the Greek titan Atlas. Some of the Greek mythology I think they're playing a little fast and loose with. They're treating them like legendary figures, like technically Atlas wasn't a god, he was a titan. It's a slightly different thing, but still just as powerful. In the clip, Billy is in Shazam powered up form, in adult form, talking to his child therapist, because technically as a child, he'd still be seeing a child therapist. Played by PJ Byrne, who you probably recognize from 1,000 Things. He's actually been in a bunch of stuff recently. And he's just talking Billy through all the traumatic things in his past and how he's overcome that since the events of the first movie to become the character Shazam. So in this trailer and in the previous trailer where it seems like he's trying to give up his powers, like, no, I need to sacrifice myself in order to save Freddie Freeman here. He either pretends like he's going to give up his powers like he feigns in order to get them to lower their defenses, and then he has the knockdown, drag-out fight with the dragon, after making a whole bunch of Game of Thrones Khaleesi references. It sounds like a lot of these scenes and a lot of the movie, maybe just in general, are him drawing on the powers of the courage of Achilles. Because in the first movie, you mostly just see him using his powers of flight, strength, lightning. The lightning comes from the power of Zeus, like that's what that power represents. The strength of Hercules is just like his physical strength. The other interesting thing that the director said about the dragon in the movie is that the dragon is actually made of wood from this mythical tree. It seems like their home is on Mount Olympus or somewhere near Mount Olympus, just because we're talking about the Greek mythology here. There are a couple more scenes inside there, like behind the sisters on this altar here, you can see this giant statue of their father, the Greek Titan Atlas, holding the earth. When they say the wizard Shazam stole the powers from their father and these other people using the staff here, like as is depicted, you see all the different names around him here. It'll be interesting to see how they explain this. Did he really steal them, or was he granted the power or a portion of the power by Atlas himself? My early theory right now, because Rachel Ziegler's character, who's meant to represent like the youngest sister, seems like she sides with Freddie Freeman, like she falls in love with him, or they start some kind of relationship and wants to help the Shazamly. And her sisters turn against her because you see her fighting her sisters and her fighting the dragon with Freddie Freeman. Early theory is that by the end of the movie, they'll come to an arrangement where the sisters just grant them a portion of their father's power, so they continue to use their powers, but they're not quote-unquote stealing it from the sisters anymore. This also just gets into the idea of how the Shazam and the Black Adam characters get their power. They don't take all the power away from the gods that make up the names in their acronyms, they just draw on the power. The other interesting thing, talking more about Wonder Woman mythology, because this is Greek mythology, it's the same group of gods, the same group of titans that we're talking about here. During the trailer for James Gunn's big reboot he released, I already did a big video for it, so I'll post a link at the end of this and down in the description below. But as part of that, one of the big HBO series that they're doing is Paradise Lost, about the Amazons, but it's set before Wonder Woman was born. So we're talking like 5,000 plus years ago, when all the Greek gods like Zeus and his family were still alive. So if you remember the flashback to the Darkseid War 10,000 years ago during the Justice League Snyder Cut, we're probably going to be seeing way more of those types of characters. Now obviously they're going to recast a lot of those characters, but it's just the idea that we're going to see more with those gods before Wonder Woman is born. Like, she'll probably be born at the end of that series. That's one of the primary reasons why they canceled Wonder Woman 3, because if James Gunn is saying that Gal Gadot could come back as Wonder Woman, they're probably just waiting until they make it through this first phase to bring her back. As far as we know though, according to James Gunn's announcements about the upcoming DCU projects, the first major one is supposed to be the new Superman Legacy movie, even though there are a couple projects here on the schedule that will come before that. The Superman Legacy movie isn't supposed to be released till 2025, so it sounds like there's going to be a period after this year where there's just kind of stuff in limbo in between things. They made it sound like there was going to be a Peacemaker Season 2 as well, because the Amanda Waller series is supposed to take place between Peacemaker Season 1 and Peacemaker Season 2. And it'll star some of the Peacemaker characters, which was a DCEU series. Like some of his Suicide Squad DCEU characters are continuing. But it looks like there aren't any Shazam-related movies involving those characters or the Black Adam characters during his official Phase 1. Like the Shazam Fury of the Gods movie is the last time you'll see any Shazam-related characters for a good long while. So it's one of those deals when Zachary Levi talking about coming back is like, we'll come back, but it'll be like 3-4 years before you might see those characters again anywhere, let alone in another one of their movies. Also, one of the problems with that is that if they do bring them back, all the kids would be so much older, they would look so much older that it would get kind of weird. Really good example is Mary Marvel. The reason why she's being played by the kid version of the character is because they aged up so much in the couple years since the first movie that she just looked like the perfect age to play her character as an adult. Asher Angel is 20 years old right now as we're releasing this movie. In a couple more years, like 4 more years, he'd be in his mid-20s, he would be the perfect age, theoretically, to play a version of Shazam. Now, he's not super swole, so it will look kind of weird. They have to use a lot of CG to buff him up. That's why I'm not holding my breath on all the Shazam characters coming back. The other big thing we haven't been talking about as much is the new Batman that they're going to have in this shared DCU. They're going to have 2 Batmen going forward. There'll be the Robert Pattinson Batman and the Batman 2. Matt Reeves is apparently just calling it the Batman Part 2 right now. That'll also be coming out in 2025, the same year that new Superman Legacy movie is coming out. And as you can see on this chart, it'll be an Elseworlds movie set in a different universe, not connected to the DCU, not connected to the Superman Legacy movie, for instance. That Batman will be in the Brave and the Bold movie, and it'll be a Damian Wayne team-up movie with the rest of the Bat family. So like skipping way further ahead, like we have young Robert Pattinson Batman in like Batman Year 3 by the time Batman 2 comes out. Then a little while after the Superman Legacy movie, we'll have Brave and the Bold with a young version of Damian Wayne that Batman has already had. I'm assuming he'll be in his 40s. We'll see how old they wind up making him. And we'll have Nightwing, we'll have Red Hood, we'll have pretty much all the other major members of the Bat family, kind of skipping over the development of some of those characters. He did say Bat family, so they'll all be in there somewhere. I don't know if every single one of them is going to be in the movie. But when he was talking about the comic books that would inspire it, he specifically spoke about Grant Morrison's run because he created Damian Wayne, and when he introduced the character, that was actually when Nightwing was wearing the cape and the cowl. So it will be kind of weird if they do the Brave and the Bold movie with a version of Batman and Damian Wayne and they don't do Nightwing during that movie. I'm sure there's going to be 1,000 questions about all these different new movies and all the reboot stuff that's happening. Don't worry, I'll do videos about everything. And because we have the Super Bowl trailers that are dropping in the next couple of days, there's going to be a brand new Flash trailer with a whole bunch of different footage. Of course, I'll do videos for all that stuff. Be sure to enable alerts so you don't miss any of that. Everyone click here for that much larger DC Studios trailer for all the rebooted movies and the new HBO series that they're doing, and click here for my brand new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania video to watch Kang start the Kang Multiverse War. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.